is traced back to eternity, not to the womb of Mary. Do you understand the difference? Matthew traces the beginning, the story of the virgin birth. Mark doesn't even do that, because he was written to Gentiles who weren't interested in virgin birth, so he begins with the preaching of John the Baptist. Here, it's the beginning of the universe, and one step back was the existence of someone called Hologos or Hologos. There's two ways of pronouncing Greek. I had both classical and koine. Now, older Gentile commentators assumed that the word logos would find its meaning in pagan Greek literature. So they ran off to Plato, they ran off to the Greek philosophers, or half-pagan, half-Jewish writers such as Philo. So a typical evangelical commentary from the 19th century would say, Jesus is called the Word because John here takes a Greek philosophic concept from Philo, who got it from Plato, and applies it to Jesus. Today, that is known to be erroneous. In the Aramaic Targums, which is the Jewish translation of the Hebrew Old Testament into Aramaic, in most of the places wherever God had dealings with man or with the world, the Aramaic Targums did not say, for example, Genesis 1:1, in the beginning God created the heavens, ha'eretz kai hashim. It didn't say that. The Aramaic says, the Word, the Memra, the Word created the heavens and the earth. When we read in the Hebrew, and the Lord Yahweh appeared to Abraham, the Targum says, and the Word of the Lord appeared to Abraham, to Noah, to Isaac. Whenever God was in human form, it was the Memra, the Word. So there's no reason to go to the pagans and run off to Plato when this was a Jew who was familiar with the Aramaic Targums. This was a Jewish tradition, and as a matter of fact, the Aramaic Targum of Genesis 1:1 says, in the beginning, the Word created Hashmaim v'charetz. The Word created. So why do we need to go to the pagans when the Aramaic translation started out this way? So the first controversy was the identity of the Word, that it's some philosophic thing, and this is why natural theologians use this verse to try to prove why we need Greek philosophy. I heard one of them lecture about 2 or 3 years ago, and of course I was interested to see how he was going to sneak in Greek philosophy. He says, the authors of the Bible went to the philosophers to explain revealed religion. The lesser goes to the greater. His proof, John 1:1, quoting some 19th and century, 18th century commentators who say John went to Plato and the philosophers to explain the person and work of Jesus. Now you can say hogwash. Up the nose with the rubber hose. It's Aramaic, it's Targumitic. You must understand this is the origin of this passage has to do with the Aramaic Targums and not the dialogues of Plato. So number one, you have the eternity of the Word. When the Word began, the Word already existed. You have the equality of the Word with God, and then you have the deity of the Word. But John isn't finished. He, speaking autos hen in arche pros tun theon,